cutting that. You guys take up way too much time in the meeting. We gotta get more streamlined. I do blame myself for having to make copies twice, though. All right, so find the value of two numbers if their sum is 12 and their difference is 4, and we're live. So we're going to set up a system of equations, which you know is going to involve an x and a y and two equations, right? So what are the two things we don't know? The two numbers. So let's call one x and one y. Now, what do we know about their relationship? We know a couple of different things. Their sum is 12, so how do I write that? Olivia, how do I write that their sum is 12? All right, stop. None of you are being funny, and you're taking forever. Yes. Very good. So we know that their sum is 12, and what else do we know about these two numbers? Right? Now, what's interesting is that how do you know whether it's x minus y or y minus x that's 4? Doesn't matter, because it'll end up setting itself correctly. Yeah. Yes. All right. So what'll happen in order to make this true is that x will have to be our bigger number and y will be our smaller number. That will naturally occur. Isaiah, I want you to go back to your spot and stop being annoying. Everyone look at Isaiah so he can get the attention he wants. What more do you want me to do? Here's the thing. We can either stop class and have everybody look at you so you can get what you want, or you could just not. I don't know. You want to stop being an advanced middle schooler and actually be a high schooler? Thank you. 8th grade plus. All right. Let's solve for x and y. What do you want to do? Substitution, elimination, what do you want to do? Go ahead. Substitution. So we got to get one variable on its own. Which equation do you want to work with, top or bottom? Bottom equation. All right. What are you going to do? What variable are you going to get on its own? Y on its own. All right. How are you going to do it? Nope. That's finding x and y-intercepts. We need to get y on its own or x on its own. What do you want to do? X on its own. How are you going to get x on its own? Cool. So we know that x is y plus 4. And we're going to plug that in for x in the other equation. What's going to happen is we're going to get y plus 4 instead of x plus y equals 12. Yep, it'll end up being all addition, so we don't need the parentheses. We do that just to be safe whenever we plug in for x, right? So we have 2y plus 4 equals 12. Now you want to divide everything by 2 or subtract the 4 and then divide by 2? Okay, we'll subtract the 4 and then divide by 2. So one of the numbers is 4. What's the other number? X has to be 8, he says. Let's check that. X and y should add up to 12, and they should track to be 4. Yep, checks out. Ocho. How do you feel? This will be your quiz on Tuesday. I've told them multiple times already. Quiz on Tuesday of next week. No quiz this week. That's why we don't have a quiz today, and today's Friday. Oh my God.
I did. I heard him and I didn't even pay attention.
All right, number 2. That is unfortunate. The difference of two numbers is 3. So the two numbers are the things we don't know, right? So we've got x and y, and the difference between them is 3. So we write it like that. Their sum is 13. That really sucks. Want me to come visit you? Awesome. Tell me the hospital. I'll be there. Sterling Hospital? Yeah, that's where I live. I'll come right on over. Sterling. All right, so how do you want to solve this? Let's do it not by substitution this time. Let's do it by elimination. So we want these two to match. Do we have anything that matches already? Everything. I mean, the two x's do. If we want to make the x's go away, we're going to add or subtract them. Subtract them. So if we do that, what we're going to get is x minus x, which is nothing. What is negative y minus y? Try again. Negative y minus y. Negative 2y. What's 3 minus 13? Negative 10. Signs matter. For all of you guys that bombed the last quiz, stop making small mistakes like that. My advice is stop. Have you tried not? 3 minus 13? Look, 13 way bigger than 3. It's going to be negative something, right? 3 minus 13, negative 10. So now we divide by 2, negative 2, and we get 5. So if y is 5, we can go and plug that back in. Let's plug it into the bottom one. X plus 5 equals 13, x equals 8. Cool. How do you feel? I'm concerned with two things. One, can you do this without screwing it up? Two, can you set it up correctly? So this week is supposed to be the setup part mostly, but you guys bombed the not screwing it up part, right? Last week. The key is watching your minuses and pluses, okay? Your negatives and positives. A lot of you guys are making major mistakes with that. She okay? Nevaeh?
I had a heart attack yesterday, let me tell you.
Okay. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
If you need me to walk you down to the nurse or somebody else, I can have that happen.
It'll go away in about 10 minutes.
Are you sure?
10 minutes.
Okay, fun fact, because none of you guys ever listen to me anyway. You probably haven't heard this, even though I've definitely told you. I had a heart problem up until freshman year of high school when I had surgery. Same thing with my sister and my other sister. And this is probably why you guys haven't heard it, because you guys keep interrupting me with other stuff that no one asked you about, right? So, my sisters both have a heart problem. My one sister doesn't want to get surgery because she's a baby, and her heart problem's not a big deal. My other one has had multiple surgeries, and she is like the first of her kind to ever have this stuff. There's medical journals written about her, right? She's going to be a doctor. And there's me, who was able to have surgery, had kind of the medium, right, between the two. So I get it. I really do. The defibrillators, the EKGs, all that stuff, okay? So let me help you. Gotcha? All right. So, 3. If it doesn't change in 5 minutes, we should probably do something about it, okay? Right. Do you feel warm or cold?
Warm.
Okay. Do you have a shirt under the sweatshirt? Awesome. You should probably take that off. All right. Flying to Kampala with tailwind, plane averaged 158 kilometers per hour. On the return trip, it only averaged 112 while flying back into the same wind. Find the speed of the wind and the speed of the plane in still air. So here's the idea. You have something flying, right? And you have air pushing against it. So that's what's going on. So flying to Kampala with a tailwind, a plane averaged 158 kilometers per hour. So 158 is the total. We have the plane's speed and then the tailwind. Tailwind means that it's pushing along with it. Okay, so I'm getting you through the jargon here. So when we apply the tailwind, it's going to add to it, right? It's going to help push it in the same direction. So here on the way there, it was getting a tailwind, meaning that it got boosted, right? On the way back, it had the same thing, but it was slowing it down. How do you feel? That's the idea. I feel like the jargon here was difficult, but that's the idea. And I bet you can solve now. Well, how do you want to solve? Elimination or substitution? So, how do we get here? To recap. The speed of the plane on the way there and on the way back is the same. The tailwind, the wind that was blowing, is going to be the same on the way there and the way back. One direction, the tailwind is adding to it, right? Because it's going in the same direction, they're working together. On the way back, it's pushing against it. So we got 158, 112. Better? Okay. So now we're going to figure out what the speed is of the plane and what the speed is of the wind. Okay? Wind is T for tailwind. So substitution or elimination? What do we want to do? Elimination. They're already lined up on the same side of the equal sign. Let's do it. If we subtract, we get rid of the S's. So let's do that. When I subtract S minus S, it goes away. Good, that's what we wanted. What is T minus a negative T? 2T. T minus a negative T. Plus T. So 2T. Equal sign. Don't lose your equal signs. Are we getting worse? Okay. There isn't, but you should probably go down there. Can you take her? Thank you very much.
She's got your back. Don't worry.
Thank you, Nevaeh. All right. 158 minus 112. 46. We divide by 2, we get 23. So that's T. So the tailwind is 23 miles per hour. We can plug that in and figure out what the speed of the plane was, right? So if I plug it in here, I get S plus 23 equals 158, which means S is going to be 135. Again, the idea is to figure out what's our totals and what are the things we don't know, right? That's the thing you need to be looking for. Yes, Joshua. Cool. Having a rough time. Are you going to be okay? Is it math stuff or other things? Both. I can help with the math stuff. You feel good about this? Okay. Great. Let's try a little bit harder. Number 4. The school that Stefan goes to is selling tickets to a choral performance. Great, fantastic, who cares? On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 1 child ticket. So we have 3 adult, 1 child. Let's call it that. And a total of $38. The school took in $52 on the second day by selling 3 adult tickets and 2 child tickets. Find the price of the adult ticket and the price of the child ticket. So the 2 things we don't know are what? Price of the tickets, the adult and the child. So let's call it adult and child. I don't like S's because they look like 5s. Now, what do we know about the relationship between adult and child? Well, we know that on the first day, total of $38. So the price of the adult plus the price of the child isn't going to get you the total amount of money, right? If I tell you that candy bars cost $1 and drinks cost $2, and I made $150, 1 plus 2 does not equal 150, right? It depends on how many you got. Well, how many did they sell? 3 seniors, so that's a 3 times the price, and 1 times this price. Are you small when I'm stepping in? Again, the setup is key. That's the whole point, guys. School took in $52 on the second day by selling 3 senior citizen tickets and 2 child tickets for a total of $52. $52, right? So we have a coefficient that we're going to have, right, in the things we don't know. That's what you're looking for. What's the coefficient? What's the things we don't know? What's the total? Mitch, you look puzzled. Three senior citizen tickets, 3 adult tickets, 1 child ticket for a total of $38. $52 total by selling 3 adult and 2 child. Better? Again, you're going to be looking for your coefficients, the number that they sold, and then the things you don't know, the price, right? Then we have the total. Elimination or substitution? What do you want to do? Elimination. Was the nurse there?
Yeah.
Awesome. You okay?
Yeah. I'm good.
All right. So elimination. Do we have anything that's already matched up? Yeah, the 3A. So if I subtract that, I'll make them go away, right? So if I subtract them, they go away. What's 1C minus 2C? Again, you always have to go back to this sign. 1C. Negative 1C. What's 38 minus 52? It's going to be negative, right? Eight to 2, you add 4. 3 to 5, you add 2, but we carried over 1. So they sold, so the price of a child ticket was $14, right? Let's find the price of an adult ticket. I'm going to plug it into the top here. 3A plus 1 times 14 is 14. If we subtract 14, we get 28. If we subtract 10, we get 28. Subtract 4 more, we get 24. A is 8. So what's cheaper, a child ticket or an adult ticket? An adult ticket, because it's for senior citizens, right? That makes more sense. Look at number 5. Try to figure that out. It's a tough one. The sum of the digits of a 2-digit number is 7. Reversing its digits increases the number by 9. What is the number? Yep. All right. So the sum of the digits of a certain 2-digit number is 7. So we have 2 digits, and when we add them together, we get 7. Right? Yeah, it's just like our warm-ups, but with x's and y's, right? Reversing its digits increases the number by 9. So let's call this x and y for its digits, right? And if we reverse the digits, it increases the number by 9. So 7 plus 9 is going to be whatever yx is. That's not multiplication, that's the digits. We cool with that? Reversing its digits increases this number by 9. Oh, did I read that incorrectly? The sum of the digits of a certain number is 7. Oh, I did. That was pretty funny. All right. So x, y as digits plus 7 will equal yx as digits. Does that make sense? The original number, if you add 7 to it, it's going to be the same as its number flipped. So if I had the number 15 and I reverse its digits, I get 51, right? I increase that number by a ton.
She has in my birthday. She's dumbass's birthday. What did I do to her?
It's, yeah. I'm sorry you had to find out that way. Walked her down to the nurse. Took care of her. Comes back and snoops through her stuff like a terrible person. That's probably why she put it in there. She's like, Shion's going to look. So if we reverse the digits between these, we have a huge increase, right? From 15 to 51. If we reverse the digits here, it's only an increase of 7. How do you solve a problem like Maria? Well, no. These are digits. Okay? So, think of all the digits that when you add them together, you get 7. Well, we could have 0 and 7, right? We could have 1 and 6. We could have 2 and 5. We could have 3 and 4. 4 and 3, right? But that doesn't really count. 5 and 2, we already did it. 6 and 1, we already did it. 7 and 0, we already did it, right? So those are the possible things. Now, when you flip the digits around, 0, 7, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4, and you make them 7, 0, 6, 1, 5, 2, and 4, 3, which one's going to have a difference of 7? Because, you see what I'm saying? Because 0, 7 would give us 70. Is that a difference of 7? 0, 7 is just 7. 7 and 7 is 14. That's not, yeah. 1 and 6 gets us 16. 61. Difference of 7? No. 25, 52. Difference of 7? 34, 43. No. Why do we goof? Yep, we did. How did we do it wrong? He's got it. It's by 9, not by 7. In the directions it says increases the number by 9. So it's 34 and 43. So x is 3 and y is 4. Just a brain teaser. Moving on. Number 6. A boat traveled 210 miles downstream. This is kind of like the airplane problem. If it's going downstream, is the river working with it or against it? With it, okay. The trip downstream took 10 hours, so that's a total, right? The trip back took 70. Good Lord. What is the speed of the boat in the water? So we need to know the speed of the boat. Let's call it B. Speed of the current. Let's call it C. It's cool. It's cool. So we don't know the speed of the boat or the speed of the current. But we know in total it traveled 210 miles down the stream and back.
Miles per hour.
Get it wrong.
Working together, working against, right? Now, we know that in total, up and down the stream was 210 miles per hour, or 210 miles. So how many miles was it to go one way? 210 miles total going up and down, right? So one way is going to be what? In total, they traveled 210 miles, one way and back, right? So how much is it going to be if we just travel one way? 420. If you double 210, you get 420. It's going to be 105. Why is it 105? Yeah, if you travel 210 going there and back, you must have traveled 105 going each way, right? So it's going to be 105 miles total. But it took 10 hours one way and 70 the other. What are we doing here?
One's going upstream.
One's going upstream, one's going downstream. So it'll only take 10 hours to cover the same amount. So 10 hours of boat speed plus 10 hours of current is going to push you all the way to 105. 70 hours of boat speed minus 70 hours of the current, because the current's pushing against it, is going to get you the same distance. It's just going to take longer. That's a 70. I literally said it as I wrote it. What? Huh?
I just don't get it. 10 hours going downstream.
Because the stream's working against you, and the stream is very strong. I know. So you have to use a lot of, you have to like push the pedal to the metal to barely move anything against a current that's pushing against you. So there's the idea. Another way to think of this that might be more intuitive is that if they're working together for 10 hours, then that's going to give you the total amount they traveled. Same way as thinking of it this way. Okay? So, boat speed plus the current speed, and when they're working together, they push each other faster, right? 10 hours of that, we've traveled 105 miles. Feeling better? Now, if you distribute it, you get the same thing. Elimination or substitution? Let's do elimination. So I'm going to give myself some more room. Logan, it's not about you. You're good. Oh, okay. Well, why are we doing that? Better? Okay, I'll take kind of. All right. So, elimination. How are we going to make these match up? Multiply the top by 7 and we get this. 735. The The bottom one we keep the same. Add or subtract, what do you want to do? All right, so these 70s go away. What's 70 minus negative 70? 735 minus 105, 630. How many times does 140 go into 630? Four and a half? Why 4.5? If we do it times 4, we get 400 plus 160, right? It's going to be 560. 560 plus half of this, which is 70, gets us that. So C is 4.5. I'm going to write that as 9 over 2. Because 140 divided by 2, 70. 70 times 9 is 630. Right? And I think that's a little more obvious. 9 times 7 is 63, add a 0. You're going to zone in and out, and that's okay. So C's 9 over 2. When we go to plug it back in to figure out B, you want to plug it in the top or the bottom? Okay. 70B plus 70 times C, 735. Again, why did I use a fraction instead of a decimal? Because I think that's way easier to do than 70 times 4.5 in your head, right? So 70 divided by 2 is 35. All right, awesome. What's 9 times 35? What's 9 times 30? 9 times 3 is? Yep, so 27, so 270. What's 9 times 5? 270 plus 45. 315. Subtract 315. Oh, yeah. You all right? Yeah. I wrote 420 and you started hyperventilating.
No.
Why can't you just be normal?
She was already too fast for the head to comprehend. And look at that.
Sorry. We feel better now? Shion chose to plug it into the top one, which had a bigger number here. Probably better to plug it in there, but that's fine. Give the same answer. Yeah. Great question. I believe they had it in miles per hour, right? Because it's the number of miles downstream, and then the amount of hours, right? So it'd be miles per hour. So 4.5 miles per hour for one, and then 6 miles per hour for the other. Next one. This year, the senior class at High School A and the senior class at High School B both planned trips to the state fair. The senior class at High School A rented and filled 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. High School B rented and filled 4 vans and 1 bus with 54 students. Every van had the same number of students. in it, as did the buses. Meaning that the vans don't vary in size, the buses don't vary in size. The kids don't vary in size either, apparently. Find the number of students in each van and each bus. So we need to find the number of students in each van and each bus. So van students and bus students. Go. 8 vans plus 8 buses is 240 students. 4 vans and 1 bus. That's 54 students. Are you smelling what I'm stepping in? Of course. You want to do substitution or elimination? Elimination. Which equation you want to tweak with? Bottom. What are you going to do to it? Multiply by 2. That's going to become an 8. That's going to become a 2. And that's going to become a 108. We subtracting or adding? Subtract. So, 8v minus 8v is 0v. 8b, as in Bob, minus 2b, as in Billy, 6b. 230 minus 108. Well, 200 minus 100 is 100. 40 minus 8 is 32, so 132. How many times does 6 go into 132? Oh, that's hard. Easier question. Isn't 6 the same thing as 3 times 2? So how many times does 2 go into 132? How many times does 2 go into 100? 50. How many times does 2 go into 30? 15. That's 65. How many times does 2 go into 2? Juan. So 66. Here's what I did. I divided both sides by 2. Right? Can't I divide both sides by 2? 120 plus 12. Now I divide by 3. 22. Some of you guys are thinking, oh man, it doesn't go in there evenly. What are we talking about here? We're talking about children! You don't cut them in half. B is 12. 22 students in a bus. How many are going to be in a van? Well, our original equation was 4v plus 1b equals 54. Probably use that one that has small numbers in it. Let's plug in 22 for b. How many times is 4 going to number 32? Well, hold on. Maybe you don't know. Let's divide both sides by 2. That's legal, right?
I guess.
Now divide by 2 again. 8. Think creatively. If you know 4 times 8 is 32, great. Awesome. If you don't, divide both sides by 2. Bet you know 16 divided by 2. 8 students in a van, 22 students in a bus.